Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we are going to solve one more LeetCode question. That is question number 134, gas station. So this is a medium level question and this has been asked by these many companies. Now let's see what this question is all about, but rather than explaining it from this description, I would like to explain it to you all with this diagram. So in this question we are given two inputs, that is a array named gas and another array named cost. So what they are saying is this gas array is representing the amount of gas at every station. So this 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 is the amount of gas present at the ith station. So the index of these values is representing these stations. And similarly, if we want to travel from this station to this station or from I to I plus 1 index, then we need some amount of gas and the cost of that gas is given in this array. So if I am saying I want to travel from I to I plus 1, for that I need to check the cost of this traversal, which is given in cost I. So cost I is something that we will need to consider if we want to travel from I to I plus 1. So I have drawn this gas array in this form of circuit because we not only have to traverse this whole array, but we need to traverse this in circular manner. So if I'm saying I'm going to start it from this place, then I will go to 2, 3, 4, 5 and then I will return back to 1. So I have to start from an index and I have to end at that index. And I need to make sure that I am having enough gas or enough fuel for doing this whole circuit traversal. So let's see how we can traverse this, because at the end we need to return the index from where we started our traversal. It is not mandatory to start it from 0, 1 or 2. We can start it from anywhere. We just need to make sure we are able to do a circular traversal. I'm fumbling a lot. So let's see how we can came up with that index with which we can start this traversal. So firstly, let me just clean this. So as we have already drawn this gas array in this form of circuit, and these pink values are the indexes of these values, or the pink values are representing these stations, gas stations, and the nodes are representing the amount of gas at these stations. So now let's start with 0 index first, and we'll see how we can come up with that accurate index from where we can start our circuit traversal. So if I'm saying that I want to move from this gas station to this one, so I know that the amount of gas at this station is 1, correct? And the cost of traversal from this node to this node or this station to this station is going to be 3. So the amount of gas that I am having is 1 minus the required fuel cost. So this will give me what? This will give me minus 2. So minus 2 is a negative value. So if the value is negative, will I be able to perform this traversal? No, right? Because I don't have enough money to buy the fuel and travel from I to I plus 1. So this clears that I won't be able to start my circuit traversal from this index, correct? Now let's check the 1 index. So if I'm saying I want to travel from this station to this station, for that, what is the cost? Firstly, let's see what is the amount of gas that we are having at this station. So at this station, I am having fuel or gas as 2, and the cost that is needed is 4. So 2 minus 4 is going to be again minus 2. So as the value is in negative, so I won't be able to perform this traversal. So this is also not the index from where I will be able to start my traversal. So now I will check index 2. At index 2, I am saying I want to go to 2 plus 1, that is index 3. And at this place, the amount of gas that my vehicle is having is 3, right? And the cost that will be required is 5. So 3 minus 5 is going to give me minus 2 again. This is also a negative value. So I won't be able to start my traversal from 2 as well. So this is crossed. Now I am at this index. Let's see if this works or not. So if I want to go from 3 to 4, the amount of gas that my vehicle is having is 4. Then the amount of cost that is needed is 1. So this is giving me 3, which is a positive integer. So that means I'll be able to travel from 3 to 4. So what I can say is this is a eligible index. For now, let's say that this is an eligible index, because right now we are not claiming that this is the answer or something. But for now, let's just consider this is the one from where we will be able to start a traversal, right? So what I did is I was able to traverse from 4 to 5, or from third index to fourth index, and I came to this place. At this point, the amount of gas that is present in my car is 3. We just calculated this, right? And at this place, I am saying now go back to 0 position, because this is a circuit traversal, right? So if I want to go from here to this place, which is the last place, what I will do the same thing. At this place, the gas is 5 and the amount of cost is 2. So I will do 5 minus 2, which is again 3. So which is positive, and I will add this up in my existing quantity. So by the time I will reach this place, this 0 index, the amount of gas that my vehicle is having is 6, right? So this is the current status. Now we started our traversal from which place? From this place, correct? Third index, because at rest of the indexes we were not able to traverse because we were getting the negative value. We were not having enough fuel to travel from these indexes or these stations, but we started our traversal from here. So in order to complete our traversal and to get back to this index, do we need to traverse this whole circuit again? Then no. How? Because there are few things that we need to check or we need to consider while we are checking for the index. Now if we see some of the constraints in this question, then it says that we have to firstly travel around the circuit once in a clockwise direction. Okay, so direction is something that we were traversing in the correct direction. And if there is no answer, then we are returning -1. If there exists a solution, then it is guaranteed to be unique. So that means if there is a solution, there is only one solution which is going to be unique. So if we see this example, if we would have started from this index, which also gave us the positive value, that is 3, then we won't be able to proceed further. I just cleaned this board a bit. Now let's see. So we started our traversal from this index, right? Third index. Why? Because this was the first place where we got the positive value, right? The positive value in terms of fuel that we will be able to traverse because we have enough fuel and money to afford this traversal. And after reaching 4, we again got a positive value, so we realized we can proceed. But as we started from this index, so do we need to again traverse this array, because we started checking this array from index 0, right? But at 0 we realized that demand is in negative values, so we didn't started our traversal from that place. So now what we need to do is we need to see whether we have to traverse this whole array or not. But the fact is we are not going to traverse this whole array, but I just want to show you all how the condition is going to get satisfied. So currently our status is 6. The amount of gas in our vehicle is 6. So at this point, what I check, what was the demand? Demand is of -2, correct? So I can subtract this value from the existing tank and I'll be able to traverse from this node to this node, right? So from 1 to 2, I'll be able to traverse and the status of my vehicle's gas tank will change to 6 minus 4, that is 6 minus 2, sorry. 6 minus 2, which will become 4. Now when I am at this place, index 1, I will see again what was the previous requirement, that is -2. Again, I am having enough in my vehicle. So what I will do, I will again traverse from 2 to 3 and I will subtract 2 from the existing amount, that is 4 minus 2. So this will give me 2. Again at this index 2 index, I will see what was the previous requirement, which was -2. Again I have a positive amount in my gas tank, or the amount of gas in my tank is still positive or enough to traverse from 2 to 3 index. So I will come up to this place from where I started my traversal, and at this place the status of my gas tank will become, which was 2, so 2 minus 2 will become 0. Fine. So I started from third index, and if I see this circuit, I was able to traverse this whole circuit and get back to this place, and my gas tank will become 0. So I was able to traverse this whole circuit, right? So this is something we realized. So we started our traversal from 3 and we ended it at 3. And if we see this example in this question, so the answer is also 3. See. So do we need to do the same thing in code? That we will brute force through this whole array again and again, and we will check whether we can proceed with this index or this or this or this or this. In this way we will check for every index that we can start our traversal from any one of these or not. So the time complexity, if we are going to solve with this brute force approach, will become n square, right? But this is not needed. How? Let's see. Let me show you some of the patterns that will help us to come up with a big O of n solution. So I have just cleaned this whole board, and let me show you what we calculated in terms of demand or in terms of net change that we were experiencing with every traversal. So the net change that we were experiencing was, firstly, if from this to this index we were traversing, so we were doing 1 minus 3, so we got -2, correct? Then for 2 to 3 we did 2 to 2 minus 4, that is -2. Then 3 minus 5 also gave us -2, then 4 minus 1 gave us 3, and 5 minus 2 gave us 3. So these were the values that were formed, correct? So if we see this whole array, if we are going to sum up the values of this whole array, we can see that the total is 0, correct? So first thing that we realized is, if the sum of these demands or requirements that we are calculating is 0 or greater than 0. So if it is 1, 2, 3 or something, in that case, so if it is equivalent or greater than 0, in that case we know that there is a solution existing. Because if we see these constraints in this question or description of this question, it is written either you have to return -1 if there is no solution, and if there is a solution it is unique. So firstly we checked whether there is a solution or not. To get that, what we did is we simply summed up the whole requirement array or the requirement values. So this is something we don't have to form an array or something. We can simply create a variable and store all these calculated values, and at the end we can check that whether the value of that variable is greater than or equivalent to 0 or not. If it is, Then how we are going to get the index? Let's see how we can get the index. So what we are going to do is, we are going to traverse this array, gas and cost. We are going to calculate these values for every index. That is easy, right? We are going to traverse this whole array, these two arrays, and at the same time we are going to calculate these values. We are going to maintain a variable, suppose net change. So overall change that we are going to experience by traversing this array only once. We are not going to traverse it twice. So if at the end the net change is either 0 or positive, that means that we do have a solution. And what will be the solution is, so if we see the pattern that we just discussed is, at 0, from 0 to 1, the value was -2. From 1 to 2, the value was again -2. From 2 to 3, the value was again -2. From 3 to 4, the value became 3. And from 4 to again back to the initial point, the value became again 3. Right? So if we see, there will always be a point from where the traversal will start, and that point is going to be the positive point. Right? And we can see in this pattern, once the actual solution or the actual index from where the traversal is possible, we got that. From that point, we didn't experience a negative value or the situation in which the fuel or the cost will go in negative direction. Right? We got 3 here as well and here as well. We didn't experience -2 at these places. Correct? So this is something that we realized. If there is a solution and in clockwise direction, if we are experiencing that there is one index from where we started our values and the overall net change is in positive direction, then that is the answer. I hope I am able to explain it to you all, because if we see from this place onwards, we didn't experience a downfall in terms of gas minus cost. The calculation was not negative. We were always having enough gas in order to proceed our traversal. So if there is a solution, then there will always be an index from where we can have that positive movement or the positive traversal. So we are not going to experience these negative values in between. Then only we will be able to reach the index, right? Because if suppose after reaching 5, I would have experienced -3 here, then I can't proceed with this traversal, or I can't say that I have started my traversal from this index, right? Because at the end, I need to traverse this whole circuit in a circular manner. So I won't be able to accept these traversals as escape or something, right? I would have stopped the traversal at this place and I would have started again from another index if I would have experienced a negative value. So this is the same thing that we are going to do. If we are going to experience a negative value or negative net change after a positive one, so what we are going to do, we are going to negate the previous index, because we knew that now we won't be able to proceed our traversal with that index. Now again we are going to start our new traversal with the new index. So this is how we are going to maintain two variables. Net change, which will help us to realize whether we are going to have a solution or not, and second one will be the current change. So current change, oh my god, my writing is just bad, but yeah. So second variable is going to be current change, where current change is going to keep track of these changes. So net change is going to sum up these values, this whole requirement change, and the current values. That is, if I am traversing from 1 to 2, the current change is -2. So minus 2 will be in current change. So I am saying if current change is negative, make our current change 0 and our answer as I plus 1, because now if I am checking for I know that I won't be able to start my traversal from I, because I is having this negative net change and I want a positive one, then only I will be able to proceed, right? So I won't be able to consider this segment as an part of answer. Now our board is completely filled. Let me just clean this a bit. So this is how we are going to solve this question. We are not going to traverse these arrays multiple times. We are only going to traverse these arrays once simultaneously, and at the same time we are going to maintain two things. That is, first thing is net change and second thing is current change, where current change is, suppose from 1 to 2 is -2, and net change will be a sum total of all these changes. So if net change is greater than or equivalent to 0, that means there is a solution existing, and to get the solution we are maintaining current change. So if current change is negative, we are going to update our answer with I plus 1, because we are calculating current change for every I, right? So if I to I plus 1 is giving a negative net change, that is -2, in that case I know that I won't be able to start my traversal from I need to start my traversal from I plus 1, or I need to check that whether I will be able to start my traversal from I plus 1 or not. So in this manner we will keep on updating our answer variable and we are going to solve this question. So the time complexity of this algorithm is going to be big O of n, because we are going to traverse these arrays only once, and space complexity is going to be big O of 1, because we are not going to use any data structure. As I already said that we are going to use two variables, current change, net change, for maintaining which index we need to proceed with, and answer will be storing the exact index. So these three variables are going to do the whole work. Now let's quickly code this whole solution. I hope I have explained this question really well, because this is not that straightforward question, or the intuition might come up right through your mind once you go through this question. But yeah, these were some of the observations that while solving we get, and then we build up a kind of logic out of it. So that's how I tried to explain it. Now let's code it. So as I said, there will be three variables. First one will be net change, then there will be current change, and there will be a answer. Currently all of these are 0. Now we are going to traverse through these arrays. So for I in range, length of any one of the variable, because the length of both the arrays are going to be same always. So now net change is going to get updated with gas I minus cost I, and current I is also going to be get updated with the same thing, gas I minus cost I. After this I am saying check if our current change is less than 0. If there is a negative change or the negative value is being obtained, then we know that we won't be able to traverse from I. So in that case what we will do, we will firstly update our current change to 0. Then we are saying update our answer with I plus 1, because we can't proceed with I. And at the end, return answer if net change is greater than equivalent to 0, else return -1. That's it. Code is really easy, but the explanation and understanding the whole intuition is a bit of tough task. So this was the whole solution with explanation. I hope I was able to make you all understand this question, because I don't think so this is a straightforward question though, but still I tried my level best. So if you find this video helpful, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I will soon come up with more such questions. Till then, keep messing with algorithm, and as always, thanks for watching.